Before starting to renovate my room, I wanted to take a good look at where my room is now and what specifically I wanted to change. One of the few major things I noticed is the color. Not a lot of color is going on. Things are mostly white and it doesn't really scream my personality or style, which is funny because I am a huge fan of pops of color here and there, and that's also something I try to incorporate in everything like my fashion, my makeup, so that's something I want to incorporate throughout decorating. Another thing that I noticed is most of my furniture and decorations are on the bottom half of my room and nothing much is going on the walls, so it feels very bottom heavy. Lastly, my belongings are super scattered and messy looking. The bins on my desk, you can see all the stuff in it, which looks extremely messy, and my shoes don't even have a proper place in my room, so I just stuff them on my vanity and in a box under my vanity, which looks really messy. To get started with a cleanup, I threw on the worst pants I could possibly find, cracked open a window, and got started. The first thing I did was clean out the smaller things like my bed sheets, my rug, plants, mirrors, lamps, all that little stuff, then began moving all the bigger furniture to the middle of the room so I could have space while working on the walls later on. I was really meticulous about cleaning out my room that I even vacuumed my bed at one point. I went ahead and cleaned out my only wall decoration by removing the shelves, the mirror, and like the things that held them up. Yes! Patched up the wall with spackle that magically turns from pink to white and painted all the little marks around my room. It looks like I'm not doing anything, kind of just like I'm painting the wall with air, but it actually makes a lot of a difference. For my vanity, I really tried my best to find a good place for it in my room, but I just couldn't get it to fit anywhere with my somewhat half-assed idea of what I want my room to look. So a quick little story time about this vanity, why it's so special to me and why it's hard for me to get rid of it now. It all started when I really wanted a vanity and found this online that someone was selling. I fell pretty hard and pretty fast for this vanity that I went a whole 3 weeks for the owner to respond back to my message, but the owner didn't respond back, so I just began searching for another vanity. That's when I found this vanity. She was looking a little rough around the edges, but I knew she just needed a little love. I decided to then drive 2 hours to pick her up and spent $40, which is really affordable for a vintage vanity because you won't find them for no less than like $200. I took her back to my home, painted her white, named her Gloria. It pains me to put her away, but don't worry, she has a bright future ahead in my closet room someday. Now that my room is pretty much bald, I went ahead and began prepping the accent wall. Yay, walls. I first went with this green bucket of paint I found in my basement. I was really excited to paint my room with this green. I mean, so excited. I thought it would have been so good with my entire concept, but after letting it dry, I then realized it looked a little too green against my super white walls. So I decided to grab other buckets of paint and attempted to lighten it, but it wasn't really working out. So it's day 4 of me trying to redo my room. I found this other bucket of like rusty old paint from my basement. I'm gonna try this color out instead. Hopefully I'm gonna like it better. I really did think the green would have been perfect for what I thought I wanted. I know what you're thinking. It's literally the same color as the rest of her wall. It looks that way because of the lighting, but as you will see later that there is definitely a faint difference. Honestly, I think painting is so satisfying. Now that the accent wall is done, I had a very optimistic idea to install crown molding around my ceiling with just liquid nails, which is just another E6000 glue, but a little bit worse. But as you may have guessed already, that idea did not work out so well. Maybe it's just not meant to be. Because the wall was looking so bare, I had another very optimistic idea to build a hanging clothing rack. So I decided that I'm going to make a hanging clothing rack. Never made anything like this before, so we're going to see how it's going to go.
Okay, let's get to it.
I stole these 3 feet long rods from my basement that my mom uses to hang her wet clothes. Sorry, Mom. 3 swing hooks, 2 3 feet long ropes, and 2 4 feet long ropes. I went for a white rope. I mean, is it a rope or a yarn? I don't really know. To give a barely there look, and I really like how it turned out. I placed and marked how far up I wanted the rods to go, and then taking a hanger and measuring how far out I wanted the rods to go. Then using that measurement to measure out how far I'll be drilling into my ceiling to install the swing hooks. And by drilling, I mean using a nail and hammer to create a hole in the wall because I don't own a drill. Because the rods overlapped, I only needed to install 3 hooks with 1 rope on each side and 2 ropes on the middle hook, and I like that because it looks a lot cleaner. Then I tied up the rods, put up a hanger to make sure that it fit, and used E6000 glue to secure the knots. This cost me no less than $10, and if I did buy the rods, it would have cost around $18. And if I just bought the kit online, it would have probably cost me around $50. Stay until the end to see how I decorate this area. Moving on to my desk area, I have this ugly thing on the window. I really wanted to switch that out with a light curtain, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a curtain rod, so I just bought this tension rod, which is only like $6 at Walmart. Honestly, it does the same thing, and this curtain was around $12. I love how this diffuses the light. Okay, so I want to put the shelf right here because I thought it would be a little bit more convenient to put like my skincare and like the most used skincare that I have here instead of like tucking them away somewhere, because I feel like that would be the most convenient for me. And also I want a lot of free space like on my desk. Hopefully this stays up because I've tried putting this shelf up about 70 times and I failed, and actually I made like I think 6 holes on this wall alone. This is like my 4th time trying it out again, but I just like reopened the hole. Why is it bent? I think I have to take this mirror down. Not bad. It is so like unsturdy. Do you see that? Just like poking a little bit, it like shakes. So I'm just gonna put like a few things on it. I need more arm muscle for this. Because the shelf I built is so damn unstable, like myself, I decided to decorate it with these super cute pots I bought from Lowe's for $1 each. They were on clearance. They were like abandoned underneath like a random table by the plant section. I know one of them says $3, but I got them both for $1. I just wanted to quickly flex at how good I am at removing tags. Like, look how smooth that was. I went ahead and cleaned them up with an old t-shirt and good old glass cleaner, and now they look brand new. I feel like this is something I would find at Urban Outfitters home decor section for like $15. I added this circle mirror from Target for like $3 I bought last year. I just never really knew how to use it, but I'm using it now. I placed it next to the pots I bought from Lowe's and this cute little jewelry box that my mom gave me. And to decorate the pots, I put these dried plants that smell so good, by the way, into the pots to give it a more minimalistic vibe with a pop of color. I am so freaking excited. Things are looking so good. Onto my actual desk, there's this gap in between the wall and the desk, so I used this bamboo silverware tray I bought from Walmart for like $8. I thought it was the perfect opportunity to use as my little skincare corner just because I was unable to fit any skincare on the shelf I built, but I love how it turned out anyway, so I'm not even mad. Another thing that slightly bothered me about my workspace is my chair. My chair literally does not have a back. I wasn't mad about it, like it didn't bother me as much until my mom kept mentioning to me how important posture is and how bad it was for me not to have a good chair. Half of my day is really spent on this desk area and on this chair, so I decided to just invest in one. Finally, I found this one from someone an hour away and they sold it to me for like $50. Another thing I bought was a bed frame, which is something I never thought I would be buying again for a very long time. I wanted to keep my bed on the floor, but someone was selling this for $10 and they told me it was for a full. It ended up being for a twin. It kind of still worked, but I wasn't a fan of how tall my bed ended up being. But since I don't have a lot of space in my room for all my stuff, I could take my vanity drawers and stuff them under my bed. This way Gloria is still part of my room. So this is the wall behind my bed, and honestly I'm thinking it's looking a little bare. First things first, I have to move the bed. I am going to add a bookshelf right here because I thought it would be nice to just display my books as decoration. So I took a measuring tape, I measured this board. Okay, I marked up the spots that I wanted to screw in. I don't think I did that right. Ooh! I feel like I'm ice picking. What a carpenter I am. My carpentry skills have really been A1 throughout this whole video. A lot of trial and error, but you learn from your mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Change of tools, I have to use my 1900 screwdriver. Oh no. This is definitely a two-person kind of job. Okay, now I'm just using my head to kind of support it. This is gonna work. No. Shut up, I think it's working. It worked! Innovation. I'm happy. This is going so well. Too good. It's perfect. I just did that. Like I was saying about the wall being so bare behind my bed, I decided it was finally time to hang some picture frames. I really wanted to have a mini art gallery like this, but finding good artwork will take a lot more time. But I did find these posters that someone was selling on Facebook Market for $5. Yes, all 3 of them. I just had to drive 2 hours just to get them, but it's worth it because I'm in love with it. I bought 2 extra frames for the other 2 for about $5 from Walmart and hung them up with damage-free hanging tape. By the way, one of the best inventions of all time. I only ended up using 2 of them so far because I wanted a variety for my future paintings later on. So I noticed right here where my bed is and like where my desk area is, there's just like this weird gap in between them. There's like no good flow. So I'm thinking of putting something there. I'm gonna try some couple pieces of furniture that I have and see what works with like the whole vibe. Once I put together the decorations next to my bed, I realized that I had no lighting next to me, so I decided to go ahead and use my ambition to make one. To make a rope light, I bought a lamp socket, which cost about $3 from Walmart, a replacement lamp for about $2 from Walmart, an LED Edison bulb, which is around $6 for 2, and yarn, which I had laying around in my house, but it's only really just a few dollars. You can also have E6000 glue on hand, but it is not necessary. Making this was surprisingly easy, but very time consuming. First, I unscrewed the 2 screws on the side of the replacement socket, but not all the way, and then I wrapped each end of the wire to one side and screwed it back on tight. Make sure you tie a knot before wrapping so the cap won't slide off. Then screw the top and bottom on. Before wrapping the cord with a rope, tie a knot at the bottom and hold it in place for moving around. Then you begin wrapping once you reach the end, tie another knot, and optional, add E6000 glue to the knots to prevent it from undoing itself. And there we go, a hanging rope light. This cost me roughly $12 compared to what would be $30 for just buying one. For the finishing touches, I quickly put back the mirror where it's always been, and then I added a plant for $10 that I bought at Lowe's and put back the rug also where it's always been. I then put my small wooden table next to the mirror so I can use it to put my jewelry and accessories on. Finally, sprucing up my hanging rack with some of my current favorite clothes to add some personality and style into my room because I love clothes and fashion in general. Then right on the bottom, I placed some of my favorite shoes on display. I actually found that piece of wood in my basement under a dusty table and used it to put my heels on. I really wanted to go for a boutique type of feel for this corner, and I think it turned out really good. Last but definitely not least, I'm finally decorating my bookshelf with my favorite books and other small decor. I've always wanted a real lemon tree, but this little faux lemon tree will have to do for now. I bought this for $7 at Walmart. Now that I have my decorations and my final touches taken care of, it's time for the tour. that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. This took me a whole month to make, but only 1 second for you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know which part of the video you like the best. If you want to see more of me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Elena Hinch, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!